Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak. And I want to say Shalom to Akim Akwath out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's titled, This Place Isn't Even Worthy of Resting In. Right? This place isn't even worthy of resting in. Alright? So, by now, a lot of people know the scripture, Micah 2:10. Alright, arise and depart, for this is not your rest. And I got this video that I found from Instagram, or a series of photos, really. It shows you that this place isn't even worthy of resting in. Alright, it's not even worthy of making this place your rest, because there's not shit here. Right? It's no reason to, enjoy life. Everything that is enjoyable, and I've stated this for in the past quite frequently, that think about anything that makes you enjoy this place, right? And it's usually something like, football or sports or, a car or, some type of material item or a distraction like a video game or TV or, I like football and watching some TV, relaxing and stuff. So, you like football and stuff, all that. That's all distractions. Cool. You like relaxing. We can relax in the kingdom. Alright? There's a lot of stuff that you like. Everything that you like either is a distraction or you can have it in the kingdom. Alright? I like to spend time with my wife. You can have that in the kingdom. Alright? You'll actually be able to spend time with your wife. Okay? You'll actually be able to spend time with your kids. Alright? And you say, I like going on hikes. Well, the world's so damn polluted. All right, you go up there and there ain't nothing but trash, and then you got to pay to get up there. So it's not, that's not the type of society you really want to be in, right? This place isn't even worthy of resting in, right? And so I got this clip here, and Slakia, bear with me. Have to edit that out as usual. Good Lord. It says, so here it is, archive, interesting. It says, photos that show why life isn't so bad after all. So it's got him holding an Uncrustable peanut butter and jelly sandwich in front of a forest. All right. It's got the DVD Mr. Deeds in front of the ocean. It's got a Dune DVD with a box of cane chicken. Some Taco Bell. All right. A beer, it looks like, some type of IPA with that packaging. And then Halo 3. Halo 3 is a good game, all right? ODST, but yeah, it's a good game. I like video games and stuff. And then him and his girl holding hands with 2 pizzas and Minecraft on a TV that's way too high up. And then Dragon Ball on PlayStation 2, all right? So, and a dog. What else do we got? A steak and a Mountain Dew, all right, over another TV too high up. Another mountain range and a peanut butter and jelly. You got a bottle of Captain Morgan and some Pokemon Emerald, right? Well, I admit, that sounds like a fun time, right? But it's no reason to, want to stay in this place. So, I like the video because, not the video, but the clip, because, or not even the clip, goddammit, the gallery really is what it is, because it shows you that, like how I said, man, it's all the things that people like in this place are distraction, all right? Fashion, or video games, or TV, or sports, or your phone, right? Or it's something that you don't really get to enjoy fully, like your kids, or your wife, or going on hikes. You don't get the full enjoyment of doing that like you would be able to do in the kingdom, right? And everything else that I mentioned is just a distraction. All right, it's a pastime, something to pass time. It's not really a reason to live, right? But it's just a pastime. So, this place really isn't even worthy of resting in, right? And, yeah, man, so I was debating if I wanted to add the title, This Place Really Isn't Even Worthy of Resting. I guess this place isn't even worthy of resting in is fine. Right, but so let's go and get Micah 2:10. All right, most people should be familiar with the scripture. Here it is. All right, and it reads, Micah 2:10, and I do it on the webpage now. So if it's ever the internet's goofy, it's sometimes a little bit slower. But that they absolutely butchered that app, so I don't use that app no more. I was trying to get it loaded before this, and I was like, that's why I stopped using it, because it sucks. Sucks, because it was a good app. It was a good Bible app, but they killed it. So, Micah 2 and 10. I'm going to read this, and I'm going to have to cut it real quick. All right? And then I'll piece it back. There's going to be a couple cuts in this, because I got to, run and grab some food. Then I got to, go to the store and stuff like that. But I don't feel comfortable doing all that unless I've, been working on my lessons. So, Micah 2 and 10 says, Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. Do I want to read on? So no, I don't have to read on, but that pretty much gets it. Micah 2 and 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. This is not our rest. This is not the time to be going around and messing around, right? It's the time now to be, not building up what we have, but building up for Yahweh Shemi Shai. Okay? And that doesn't mean, we're going to touch on that a little bit later, that doesn't mean you can't have nice things. Doesn't mean you can't have a collection. All right, I always have to mention that, because people get, not building up treasures or making this place your rest. Oh, so I can't have a collection of baseball cards or video game. No, you can have those things, but they can never show importance or value over Yahweh Shemi Shai. All right, if the Lord came down and said, get rid of all that, you should just be able to get rid of it. I got a VHS collection. I got, a board game collection, small little video game collection, right? I like collecting stuff, all right? But if it came to the push, come to shove, and I had to get those, or they would get in the way of the Lord, I would just burn those shits up. All right, I wouldn't even need them, because they're not gonna save me. They're not gonna do anything for me, and that's not my rest. All right, my rest is not in a fucking VHS of Forrest Gump. All right, or a DVD, or trying to think of a game, Oblivion on the Xbox 360, or fucking one of the Conflict war games, or Gran Turismo on the PlayStation 2, right? That's not where my rest is. That's not going to save me. It's not going to deliver me. It's not going to help me. I'm not going to have that in the kingdom. So there's no reason to, think that really has any value at the end of the day. Yes, you can have things like that, right? We like, nice cars, or have things that are fun for now, but they're not of any real value, right? They're really worthless at the end of the day, okay? So, and you have people that would, absolutely lose it with their collection if it, I'd be like, damn, that really fucking sucks. Oh, well, The only thing I'd be really mad at is if, like, my computer setup got fucked up or something like that. Because, like, that's where I make my lessons. If my mic went out, or my computer, or my monitor or something like that, I would be like, oh, shit. Or my hard drive failed or something. I'd be like, fuck, all my lessons were on that. Or, because that's what I need to, exalt Yahweh Shemi Shai. But we'll touch on that a little bit more later about the items and stuff, because that's part of that. But again, with Micah 2 and 10, Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. If you stay in this place, it's not going to do anything but cause you harm, right? So I'll be right back with you in just a minute, Lord willing, and I'll piece this back together, Lord willing. All right. So, yeah, man. But let's get 1 John 2 and 15 through 17. So, I already got it auto popping up. So let's try to get it loaded up. All right. So 1 John chapter 2 and 15, it reads, Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of Yahweh abideth forever. So there's a lot to break down here, right? Relatively easy, all right? But again, so love not the world, neither the things that are in the world, all right? Now, as you'll hear the elders and the apostles say, don't be too deep. All right, be one deep. Okay, so I can't love my wife. No, you can love your wife. All right. Well, I can't love my dog. You can love your dog. All right. But at the end of the day, all right, all those things are under Yahweh Shemi Shai still. Okay, your love of Yahweh Shemi Shai needs to be higher than the love of your wife. For example, if you have it to where you love your wife more than the Most High, she says, oh, I made this bacon for you, you're going to eat it. If you love your wife more than the Most High, you wouldn't want to disappoint her, you're going to eat that bacon. And by doing that, congratulations. All right, you just disappointed the Lord, okay? And he's going to kill you for that, first of all, for going off, right? So, that's an example of, nothing should ever come higher, whether anything, all right? Person, animal, item should never come ahead of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And it says, if any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. All right. So love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. All right. And love, we use love in ways that it's really not accurate. That's just like I talk about a lot how definitions have changed. But you hear the apostles and the brothers of Great Millstone talk about a lot. Again, I'm not in GMS, but I'm just considered an affiliate. As I teach the same thing to the best of my ability. But it's one of those things where lost my train of thought. Why did I lose my train of thought? Anyway, but it's one of those that's what I was talking about. Slakia. Call Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for allowing me to remember. But definitions change. All right, our definition of love now is basically just equivalent to like. Okay, so I love watching football. You don't love watching football. You like watching football. You die for football? No, then you don't love it. Okay, then you don't love it. Okay, love is an extreme. Okay, love is an extreme. Liking is not. You like watching TV. You like playing video games. You like going for walks. You don't love doing those things. All right, you don't love doing those things. Okay. You should love the Lord. You should be willing to risk and lose your life for Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Right? That's the difference. So, continuing on 16, it says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. So, all this thing in the world is of the world. It's not of the Lord, it's of the world. Okay? In verse 17, it says, and the world passeth away. All this stuff's going to go away. All right, pulling up into this parking lot, you see cars and buildings, and all those are going to go away. All right, it's like Yahushua said in 24. He said, they're basically, I think he said, roughly paraphrasing, there shall not be a stone unturned. How did it go? Let me see. It says, verse 2, Matthew 24 and 2, it says, and Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. So there's not going to be one stone here that shall not be thrown down. There's not going to be one little bit that's left standing, all right, in this place. Not no monuments, not no Walmarts, not no anything, all right? Car dealerships, all right? Job places, job sites, none of it. All going to be gone. Boats, planes, all right? Trains, all right? Planes, trains, and automobiles, none of that. And the world passed away, but the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of Yahweh abideth forever. So why would you, give all that up for something that's temporary? Right? Why would you want to rest in somewhere that's temporary? If I told you, oh, hey, we're going to move out of this house in a week, why would you go and try to build it up to the best that you possibly can, all right, when you're going to have to leave in a week? And that doesn't mean you make your house look like shit. That's not what I'm using it as a example, right? You can decorate your house and make it look nice, but just know that all that's going to go away. Right? But the guy's acting hella weird. But give me a minute. What the fuck is going on with this guy? He's like fucking screaming and digging around in his car. Anyway, Slakia. But yeah, doesn't mean you can't have nice things, all right, as we're gonna get into in a moment. But just know that, why would you put your everything in, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Your everything into something. Why would you put all of your stock in something that's not going to last. Okay? You can have nice things. You can get a new TV. You can decorate your house so it's, you know, to your standard while you're here. But you should never make that your treasure. You should never make that, you know, your basically the only reason to live. Your first reason to live is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, to do the work in the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? Anything that comes after that is just whatever, right? Because that's who you're really living for, is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Anything after that is what? Art. Nothing worth a shit, right? This place isn't even worthy of resting in, as the lesson title says. So don't put all your chips in on something that's not going to be around. Like, don't stress on, you know, building in the society, all right? Trying to make everything exactly, you know, perfect and go out of your way. And again, I'm trying to explain it in the best bet, you know, because everybody has their nice little spot. You want to decorate, put some things on the wall. But what I'm saying is that don't put all your cards out on the table on that, right? Don't go all in on that, because that's going to go away. Okay, that's not where your first focus should be. Your first focus is doing the work in the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, and if any of those things interfere with the work in the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, those things got to be cut loose. All right, you got to get rid of those things. All right, if they start to get in the way of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you can't do it. Okay, so yes, you can have a collection of paints. All right, but if you value those over Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you might want to think into getting rid of those. Okay. So, that's what I'm talking about, right? Or if you start getting to a point where, you know, you can decorate, have everything, a nice TV, nice little lounger, and all this stuff. Have your spot looking not nice. You can have your spot looking hot, right? You can have it popping in there, right? But it should never get to the point where you love it so much where it's like, oh, I don't even want to go into the kingdom. I've worked so hard on this. I want to stay here. Look, I like my spot too. All right, I've spent a lot of time getting that stuff done, because that's where I'm at. I don't really go out, right? I don't like going out and being around a whole bunch of people. If I'm going out, it's probably to buy something to put up in my spot, right? So I like having a nice little area. Everybody has a nice little area. No one wants to sit on the carpet, crisscross applesauce, all right, and not have a TV or nothing, right? But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean shit. At the end of the day, I'm never gonna be like, oh, I gotta stay here because my TV. Fuck that TV, man. We probably have like some type of hologram in the kingdom, right? So it should never get in the way of. It should never hold you back. All right, it should never be like, oh, I don't want to leave all this behind, or oh, I don't want everything to burn up because I like all my stuff. I need all my stuff. Fuck my stuff. All right, fuck all of our stuff. All right, do I like it? Yes, but it don't mean shit. Let it burn. All right, let it burn. Okay. Now, would we be mad if we came back and our house burned down? Yes, all right, because we're still living here. But if the Lord said, all right, come on, we're leaving this place, hey, I'm jumping on, right? And you should too, right? Lord willing, I'm jumping on. We're like, all right, let's get out of here, Lord, all right? Let's go. It should never hold you back, all right? It should never hold you back in this place, saying, I don't want to leave this place behind and go into a kingdom because I like my stuff now, all right? You don't want to do that. Okay, no, Lord, I don't want it, and that's what it's like when Yahushua was talking to that guy. Said, sell what you have, all right, and the guy went away, and it says, and the man went away sorrowful, for he had many possessions. Roughly paraphrasing, so he didn't want to leave all that behind to go and follow Yahushua. He was a rich man. He had many possessions. He said, no, I don't want to leave all my stuff. No, so you can't be in that same mindset. All right, when we're at the end now, all right, any day Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, all right, could turn the switch on this place. Come on, man. Fucking hate this phone, god damn it. I'm blessed to have it, but man, I need to get a new one. Come on, man. The fuck? Bear with me. Matthew 6:19. It says, lay not up for yourself treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. That's the other thing. Somebody could come up in your spot and steal it. Steal whatever you got. But lay up for yourselves treasure in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Again, you can have nice stuff, all right? Don't get me wrong. You can have nice stuff. Those collections, you can have it, as long as it doesn't start becoming a covetousness issue, all right? That's where you need to watch it out. And covetousness is just, I've explained it before, how to identify covetousness. It's just constant want, all right? Constant want of like, I need this, 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 I need this. And again, there's a difference between want and need, and wanting items and covetousness. You can want many things, but it gets to the point where it starts being like your only focus. It starts getting in the way of Yahweh Shem Shai. Start putting out your lessons. You start, like I did a whole breakdown on ChatGPT. You know, you start neglecting bills. You start neglecting everything so you can pursue these items because you want to have what the next man has. Oh, that guy has a car. I want a car. You know, that's just like that. Not here it is. You have a nice little car, but you know he has a Ferrari. I want a Ferrari because he has it. I want it. All right, and then you start being, then other sins start playing away, because then you think I should just take his. You know, I should take his. He doesn't deserve to have that, right? And that's where you have, you know, all sorts of different. You know, I always say covetousness is a gateway sin, because if you start having the covetousness, you're willing to steal to get it, you're willing to kill to get it, and you're willing to lie to get it. Okay. So you start doing a whole lot of stuff you shouldn't be doing when that covetousness gets there, right? If you start thinking, oh, I'm going to steal to get that item, I'm going to kill to get that item, that's covetousness. You found it, all right? You found out what it was. So, again, you can have nice things, but just know it's all going to go away. So why would you put all right, why would you go all in on something that can just be destroyed instead of going on something that cannot be destroyed, all right? And moth and rust doth not corrupt, as the scriptures say, all right? So all the things here go away. The things in heaven, they don't go away, all right? They're permanent, all right? So that's why we're trying to get there, all right? Again, you can have nice things. Don't go overboard, Jake. But, hey, man, you know, be happy with what you got. All right, and if the Lord if you want something more, or if you want something, right, you have something, you want something, you know, I wouldn't say necessarily pray for it if it's just a want, because that's just, you know, at the end of the day, look, you can set up a simple prayer such as, Lord, if I'm meant to have that item, or if I'm meant to have that, please let it come my way. If it would ever, you could say something along the lines of, if it would ever, you know, lead me astray, or, you know, mess me up in the spirit, you know, please keep that item away from me and don't let me get it, right? Things like that. That's what I try to do in my prayers when I want something. I have to think like, okay, do I want this item? Do I need this item? All right. If I don't want it, if it's going to mess me up, have me in a covetous mindset, or have me in messing me up in this truth, right? Where I'm thinking about that more than I'm thinking about, you know, things related to this truth, okay? You know, I'm putting off my lessons, and I'm not praying because of it, you know, and I don't want that anywhere near me. So Philippians 3 and Philippians chapter 3 and 7 through 8, all right, it says, but what things were gained to me, those I counted for loss for Hamashiach. It says, yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung, that I may win Hamashiach. So, dung. You know what dung is? Shit. All right? Poop. Caca. All right? That's what it is, man. So, all things are just a bunch of shit. All right? So, that we can win Yahweh Shem Shai. All the other items, or all the other things that we have, we count as shit. All right, we should count as shit, as dung. They're nothing compared to the Lord. All right, can you have them? Yes, they're nothing compared to the Lord. Okay, so as you saw in that clip, man, you know, he's got just things. That's no reason to like fucking, you know, that's no reason to set your life upon. All right, and say, oh, that's a reason to stay here, right? You know, but that's it. And I mean like a reason to stay behind. Because you got to think, you know, what makes it even worth living? All right, you got to think, well, doing this truth, for one. All right, and then anything else, I mean, everything else doesn't really matter. All right, we live for, you know, Yahweh Shem Shai. And, you know, we'd like to continue to live, and we don't want to perish. All right, but it's mainly for Yahweh Shem Shai. Everything else doesn't matter. You know, we live to do the work and will of Yahweh Shem Shai. And we don't want to die because we want to be translated. And I mean, nobody wants to die. All right, who wants to just die and pass away? But at the same time, we don't. We're only really living for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and it's nice to see. There's other things that are nice. Going on a walk, spending time with your wife and stuff like that. And but that's that's it, right? There's not a whole lot in this society. We want to live to continue to live, so we can be translated. Because nobody like I said, nobody wants to pass away. Nobody wants to die and experience death. All right, and plus, it's not nice here. It's not bad here either. I mean, it is bad here, but when you think about the things like going on, you think about this truth and making lessons and going on a walk or stuff like that. Those things are like the things that you're like, okay, I like that. But at the end of the day, there's nothing in this society, all right, worth losing your life, all right, over, all right. And this place isn't even worthy of resting in, like I mentioned. So Matthew 16 and 26, it says, "For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?" So what's the point, right? What's the point of gaining a nice house or a nice car or a nice collection of items that you have, or any of those things, all right? Or a nice woman with a big fat rack and a fat ass, right? What's the point of having those things if the Lord takes your ass out and you don't end up being part of the elect? We don't want that. We'd much rather have nothing, all right, and count those things as dung and have everything in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai than have material items, right? So this place isn't even worthy of resting in, okay? The only things that you can think of that you like in this place is entertainment, to entertain you, or pastimes, as they call it, pastimes. Baseball, the American pastime, because it passes time, right? That's it. And that's not really a reason to live. We like those things, and those are the things when we think about regular living. It's like, yeah, I like those things, all right, but it's not a reason to lose your life over, right? The only thing worth losing your life over is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, all right, and through martyrdom, all right. That's it, because this place sure isn't worth losing your life over. All right, this place ain't it at the end of the day. So that's the lesson. We're going to close out there. All right, Lord willing, it was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem HaKakwadash. I want to say shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing, shalom.